Well, good morning, everyone. Wade back. And, let's talk about it. President Trump being booked on yesterday. This is the way I feel about it. Obviously, it's embarrassing booking a former president for a crime that he may or may not have committed. I'm not a judge or a lawyer, so I don't know. But I think it's a sad case. First one, it's obvious that the government and the media is biased. It's obvious, and if it isn't obvious to you, then your head's in a hole somewhere. It's obviously obvious that they're after him, regardless if he did anything or not. It's obvious. It's an obvious bias, and if you think that everything they're doing to him is justified, you're probably biased too. Now, that's not to say he's not guilty of what they're accusing him of. I'm not saying that because I'm not a judge or a lawyer. But it's a very bad look, and you can't deny that the country was better when he was president. Just look at gas prices. Gas prices were in the mid-dollars and cent range when he was president. Now we're paying $3.29, $3.39, $3.49, at least here, in Alabama. So it's obvious. Obviously, inflation has something to do with that. A lot of other factors, obviously. But it just wasn't a good look. It's a sad day for our country. Again, if he's guilty, then so be it. I'm not going to come on here and say that he's innocent or guilty because I don't know. I don't know if he planned, had anything to do with the January 6th thing. I don't know if he committed election violations. I know, according to the Constitution, he is allowed to question election results. So I don't see what the problem is. He's allowed to question it. So I don't see what the problem is with that, but people don't like that because it's never, but we've been questioning election results since, Bush 2, I believe. So it's a common occurrence. It's sad, but it's a common occurrence. Because unfortunately, we do have voting irregularities. That's been proven, and that's a fact. There were dead people voting. There are all kinds of irregularities that the left and the media won't admit to. But it's true, there are irregularities. Polling folks admitted there were irregularities. So they're really not making their case on this. But state of Georgia feels, or I should say not the state of Georgia, Fulton County DA feels that he committed a crime. It's an obvious bias because they're Democrats. It's an obvious bias. Again, whether he's guilty or not is not up for me to say, but it's obvious that they're after him. $200,000 bail? Come on. Obviously, Trump paid it and got out after he was booked. But it's an obvious bias. They're obviously attacking him because they don't like him. The governor is not for it, but of course that might be biased too. So this whole thing is just a bunch of bias, feelings hurt attacks. They don't like him, so they're going after him. They don't like him, so they're trying to indict him. They're trying to accuse him of crimes. They're trying to do all kinds of things. Am I saying Trump is a clean, squeaky clean guy? Of course not. I'm not saying that at all. He has a past. But all them folks that are talking bad about him and everything else were his friends, not but maybe 10 years ago. So it's obvious it's a bias. If he was still a Democrat, none of this would be happening. President Biden, his son has obviously did criminal acts. Has yet to be prosecuted. Has yet to be prosecuted. So it's obvious bias. The government is biased. The current administration is biased. The Justice Department is biased. The media is obviously biased. And it's just not right, because freedom of speech is really no longer that free anymore. They are going after him. It's obvious that they are. Tucker Carlson asked if he was afraid or fearful of being assassinated. And if I were him, it would be on my mind, because that's what's coming next. If he gets off of all this, if judges find him innocent of all these charges that they're trying to accuse him of, especially the ones in Georgia, and if he comes out innocent out of all this, that's the next step. I guarantee you that's the next step. I don't advocate it at all, but that's not beyond the left to do. It's not. If you're willing to accuse a man of all kinds of crimes that he may or may not have done without any proof, then there's nothing you won't do. And that's on both sides of the aisle. So it's obvious that President Trump is a polarizing figure. He is. Do I agree with all that he did while he was president? No, but a lot of what he did was good. He wasn't my first choice. I don't know of anybody necessarily where it was necessarily their first choice to vote for him. No, of course they were voting for established politicians. But then when he all of a sudden came to the forefront, they're like, oh, well, let's try something new. And I don't blame them. So I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I'm declared independent. I do vote more conservative. So I'm already, somebody they don't like. And it seems that the Republican Party has at least one decent candidate. Maybe about three decent candidates. Okay. The rest of them are just junk. Okay. And all of them are minority candidates. Pence is done. DeSantis is done. Great governor. He's really showing himself in this presidential election. So, not election, but the run-up campaign. That's what I meant to say. So, yeah, I just want to come here and talk about, President Trump being booked yesterday. He turned himself in like he's supposed to, as well as everybody else that the Fulton County DA is accusing, former Mayor Giuliani and everybody else. Do I think they have a case? Probably not. I think this is a hack job. It's obvious bias. It's obvious bias. I don't care if you like President Trump or not. It's obvious that it's biased. I don't think they have a case, but maybe they do. That's for a judge to decide, not for me. I'm not a lawyer or a judge, and I don't know constitutional law. And will freely admit I don't know it. But what I do know is that this is obvious. They're obviously going after somebody they don't like. And his interview, Tucker Carlson's interview with President Trump, garnered more views than people voted. It obviously garnered three times as many viewers as the Republican debate, which was a bunch of nonsense, because they wouldn't allow Larry Elder to be there, even though he's running for president. Well, why is that? Who knows why? So, the political system as a whole is just broken and been broken for a long time. And we, the people, aren't trying to fix it. So it's going to continue to be broken. It's going to continue to be what it is until we, the people, fix it. It has to be fair to everybody. And the election, the way we vote, has to be done in a way where we don't have to continuously worry about people contesting. Contesting an election should be something that's rare, not something that's now commonplace. It's commonplace not only in federal elections, but state elections and local elections. everything is being contested. And a lot of that has to do with, with the advancement of technology, the easier it is for people to hack into things and all this other stuff. Fraud is absolutely everywhere in our election system. And if you don't think it is, you're stupid. Fraud is everywhere. Our election system's been hacked countless times by foreign countries. We have to fix it. There's a lot of stuff we have to fix. But the government's not willing to fix anything that makes common sense. And that's what's wrong with the current administration. Nothing that's being done is common sense. And all people are asking for on any side of the aisle is common sense legislation and common sense decision making. That's all we want. I don't care what party you're in. Just make common sense decisions that positively affect the common person. As I stated with my last video with Oliver Anthony, the song has touched people in many ways because it speaks to the common person. That's what we need, is something that speaks to the common person. So the booking of President Trump yesterday was a sad, embarrassing time for our country. The picture he took was absolutely hilarious. He looked like he was about to hurt somebody. That was absolutely hilarious. And he posted it on his Twitter page, and I'm sure his Rumble page and Truth, whatever media that President Trump is on these days. He posted it. I thought it was funny and hilarious. And the people that posted photos of him in an orange jumpsuit, they're hacks. Because obviously he wasn't booked in an orange jumpsuit. They're just doing that to sway people. He was in his suit, took a picture in his suit, paid his bail, and left. With the Secret Service standing outside waiting on him. $200,000, I think, is excessive, but President Trump can afford it. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. So I'll post this video here shortly. And if you got any comments, obviously be respectful. Go ahead and leave them below. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Continue to support my son on his website, philmartin.org. That's PHILL Martin, MARTIN, one word, .org. Go ahead and check him out. He's got a lot of good things going. He's got a web design business that he started that's also on there as well. So go ahead and check him out. And again, like, subscribe, help me with this algorithm. Go ahead and like this video. And if you got any ideas, go ahead and post them as well. We'll go ahead and talk about that. I'm trying to do better with my new job. All my hours have changed. Everything's kind of been whacked. My gym workouts are all messed up. Everything's just all messed up. So I'm trying to, again, I don't apologize for doing things that are more important, but I do apologize for not being consistent. So I got to try to do better. And so hopefully when I have time, I'll be able to post something that is relevant and hopefully is impactful. And I think the booking of President Trump yesterday in Fulton County, at the Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, is important because we have something to worry about. Because if they'll go after him, they'll go after anybody. And for him, it's a lot more difficult because he has money and connections. For us, it would be easy to take us out. It'd be so easy. Because who are we? President Trump has resources. Has people that support him. Us regular folk don't. Heck, sometimes we don't even have our own family that supports us. So who are we? So it's a real dangerous precedence. And they've been after him since he got in office. So it's just sad that people hate people so much, to include you Christians, even in my own Reformation, hate him so much that you're willing to cuss folk out, that you're willing to talk about people, that you're willing to hate people, even though the Bible says we shouldn't hate people. So you're hypocrites. And for all y'all quote-unquote Christians out there, y'all are hypocrites if you hate people. You're hypocrites. The only person that you should be hating is the devil. That's it. But you hating people, especially people you don't agree with, you're a hypocrite. I'm going to call you out every time. It's not the first time I've said it on my videos. Y'all Christians are hypocrites. Hypocrites. Because you don't like a man. 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 You're quick to preach about stuff, but then don't do it. Y'all talk and no action, especially my Reformation. They all talk, no action. They all hate him for various reasons. In fact, they hate anybody who's white and conservative. And yet you preach one thing and do another. Y'all are hypocrites, because I see y'all on social media. So it's a sad day for America. Whether he's guilty or not, we'll see. I don't think that he did all that Fulton County and the federal government are accusing him of. Maybe he did. We'll find out. I don't think he did, though. I think this is all made up because he's the scapegoat. Everybody hates him, and he's a scapegoat. And honestly, he was built for this, because the rest of us wouldn't have been able to take this. He was built for this. He was built to take all that he's taking. And so I applaud him for that. I respect him for that. I don't have to agree with everything he does, but I respect him for that. And neither should you. You don't have to agree with anybody. You don't have to agree with everything that anybody does. You can disagree and yet be agreeable. We could just agree to disagree. That's what common sense real people do, is agree to disagree. We could still get along and not agree on everything. It's okay. It is okay. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'll post this here shortly. Thank the Lord for each and every one of you, for all my subscribers, everybody who's liked and commented. I appreciate every one of you. And until next time, God bless you.